Okay, hello everyone. So my name is Laquan Williams, and today in this video, I'm going to be reviewing the Flash's season 8, episode 5, part 5 of the final Armageddon episode series, which is Armageddon part 5, of course. So the first 5 episodes of this 8th season of the Flash are centered around Armageddon, which is a 5-part miniseries that had many crossovers from past CW, TV, DC comic book characters that have obviously been on the show and that are in the Arrowverse, such as people on the Batwoman show, The Legends of Tomorrow, Black Lightning, and also Supergirl. So what happened, obviously, essentially, in this fifth and final part of this 5th episode of Armageddon Part 5, the show won't be back on until March 9th. So it's pretty much about 2.5 months from now, where we'll have to wait until we see the rest of the 8th season, which I think could be the last season of The Flash. They're not saying anything about that yet, but I think it might be. It's possible they can do one more season and squeeze out maybe 10 episodes for the 9th and final season for a 10-part series, kind of like what they did in the first 5 episodes of this season, which is season 8. Essentially, the Flash knew, obviously, in the last at the end of episode 3, that Eobard Thawne, aka the Reverse Flash, was in charge of the Armageddon happening. He created Reverse Flashpoint, and by doing that, he went back into the past, changed history so that he actually became the hero. And by him doing that, the Reverse Flash became the hero, and Barry Allen became the villain. So they switched places, and Barry Allen did not know why that was the case, and obviously why Despero labeled the Flash the villain, and that he was going to destroy the whole entire world itself, obviously, and screw up all the timelines. The Speed Force and everybody involved, like for Psych, whereas we only saw Dion in one episode. They were not there at all. Dion was only in episode 4 to help Iris obviously figure out who obviously killed her father, Captain Joe West, and to prove that obviously Barry Allen, aka the Flash, who was her husband, was the one who was innocent. He never did anything to screw up the timeline. He obviously was not the villain. He was being framed by the Reverse Flash, and in that alternate timeline, a lot of characters are dead, including obviously Joe West and a lot of superheroes because of the Reverse Flash, who Barry Allen becomes because obviously of what Thawne did. And also Iris West and the Reverse Flash are married in this alternate timeline in 2041. And Damien Dark's there, but he's obviously not able to see his daughter Nora because she's dead. So he obviously has to get out of that timeline, come back into the current one, obviously, which is 2021. And in order for him to sacrifice himself so Nora can obviously be alive, he has to die. But in order for that to happen, which it did happen in this episode, with Barry Allen gave Damien Dark back the time stone that he borrowed from him, and he saw his daughter Nora Dark at the end. And but obviously, once the timeline was put back in place, he had to go, and she stayed there. And she, in order for her to stay alive, she popped up at the celebration for Team Flash, and she said, "What's going on?" She didn't understand what was happening. Joe West talked to her and explained to her what essentially happened, and obviously we don't know if we'll see her back on the show ever again. The Reverse Flash obviously situation was like this. Um, Barry caught up to him obviously, and he disappeared, but he came back into this current timeline again in 2021 to stop him after he messed up his plan. So the episode starts out with the Flash and everybody talking about what happened. Joe West being told by Barry exactly that he was dead in an alternate timeline, and he didn't know about it. He also explained to him what the Reverse Flash did. So after that happens, at the Joe West's house where Barry Allen grew up, Damien Dark shows up there magically because he has powers, and he tells Barry that he needs his help. Joe West obviously wants to know what's going on. He explains to him what happens. He obviously Damien Dark and the Flash obviously had a situation where they had to help each other take the Reverse Flash down in order for both of their lives to be put back to normal, so Barry could save his city and his family, obviously, and obviously get Joe West back and alive, and Damien Dark could save his daughter. So Barry gave him the time stone. He disappeared, and we didn't see him until the end of the episode, obviously, where he was reunited with his daughter Nora, obviously, and they got to see each other one last time before he disappeared. At the Central City Police Department, the Reverse Flash shows up out of nowhere randomly, attacks 5 to 6 police officers, and all of a sudden he says he's looking for their hero. The Team Flash is talking, so that they were on like a 5-minute delay. So they didn't know that actually what was going on. And before the Flash actually got there, Barry Allen, Mia Queen, who was Oliver Queen's daughter, and Mia Smoke's daughter that they had together, who was looking for her half brother William that Oliver Queen had with another woman. She pops up and tries to take the Reverse Flash on by herself, which was very stupid and pointless. We knew that was never going to happen or work, and she wasn't going to be able to take him down with whatever arrow she was able to even shoot at him, unless she had some type of I don't know, some type of negative tachyon arrows infused that she was able to use on him, which obviously would need to be put together by Cisco and obviously Chester and possibly Argus, but she didn't do that. She got hit, and she almost died if it wasn't for Barry Allen coming at the last minute to save her. There was no explanation at all on this episode of how Mia Queen got here from 20 years in the future. She's in 2040, 42, something around that time. Just like Eobard Thawne is, aka the Reverse Flash. She says she was able to track him down and find the negative tachyons or the temporal energy in the air of her brother, her half brother William, and it led her to here. And she believes the Reverse Flash kidnapped William, which I thought that was really weird because she didn't see. Obviously, she's like, well, these guys came and attacked us, and they showed the scene, the flashback, what happened years ago. William's still missing, and that was just really weird. And if you want me to be honest here, Mia Queen showing up on the show really made no sense. It was actually out of place, and I thought it was actually pointless, and I really didn't need to see that because there was no point. She said, "Oh, I'm not going to talk to my half mother Felicity about William." After Iris confronted her and said, "Why didn't you tell Felicity about that? Felicity can help you." She said, "I don't want to talk to her." So all up until the end of the episode is when her and Iris talk, and Mia said, "Okay, well, now I'll talk to Felicity and tell her that William's been missing for 2 years and I can't find him." Doesn't that just sound dumb to you? It sounds very dumb to me. That's why I said this is pointless. Even on the show, Supergirl, the girl on Supergirl's show, the lady named Cora is like, "Yeah, uh, Supergirl can't be here, so I'll be here." The lady with the kind of like the side hair, who's like, it's like black and red. She's on the Supergirl show. She's the older woman that's with them on their team and who does communications. I think she's a police officer as well, or a federal agent. Anyway, she was there. Batwoman was there, but it previous episodes. But there was a lot of characters that they actually could have used, but they did not. And I thought it was actually kind of weird and out of place, if you want me to be honest, at specific certain points, especially with the whole Mia Queen situation. That was just really weird and random. She didn't help the team at all, really. She didn't. She was only there to ask them for help to find her brother William, her half brother William. So that didn't happen. So the Reverse Flash got captured by Barry after he told him, "You can save me." The Reverse Flash said, "Barry, I need you to help me." He said no. The whole entire team came up with the idea that they were going to let him fade away and disappear into existence. That's what obviously was happening. Everybody except Joe West, who was yelling at Barry and Iris, said, "You guys need to save him. You're supposed to be heroes. We're not killers. We're better than this. This is not how we're supposed to be. This is not what heroes do." They all decided that they had no idea of what they can do to stop him. The whole Chester talking to how Mia Queen was also very corny and irrelevant. I thought it was stupid, and I was like, he's like, "Hey, I'm Chester P, new guy here. I want to talk about your mom and your dad. I know all the stories about them. I'm a big fan." And Mia Queen's looking at him like, "Yeah, you don't know all the stories." She actually said that. I was like, "Why are you acting so weird and giddy like this when Reverse Flash is on the loose and is at your lab, and you guys have no way to stop him?" It's so stupid and dumb. The whole Chester character is a replacement for Cisco Ramon, but obviously we know at the end of the day he'll never replace Cisco. He's just not there as 100% authentic, and obviously I would say probably I would say just calm. It's like overly like done like, "Hey, oh my god, like, I'm on it. Chester P's on it. Like, I'm gonna if I touch this technology, am I going to create a Chester P verse? Or, I'm like, just stop it, please. When Cisco was there, it was different, but now that Cisco's no longer on the show, Carlos Valdez is gone. He's obviously taking his place, obviously, because they need a tech guy on the show, and they don't have anybody else to replace him with. Still haven't seen Cisco at Argus Labs. They brought it up again in this episode. Cisco can help us, and there's no showing of him at all physically. Will he actually be shown at Argus Labs actually finally soon before the show is actually over? I hope so, because at this point I really don't care. You're mentioning Cisco at Argus multiple times, and we haven't seen that happen not once, even before he left the show. I'm just like, enough is enough. Just do it or not. Oh, and the Ralph Dibny situation with him and Sue Dearborn, they still haven't replaced the actor that got kicked the fire off the show for past racist tweets, but the actress that plays Sue Dearborn pops up randomly every now and then, and they still haven't explained that. Oh, we're going to replace Ralph Dibny. They didn't explain that at all, the CWTV network, so that's really like up in the air. And honestly, there's no point of bringing Sue Dearborn back if you're not going to have her and Ralph Dibny together as the elongated man, because they're supposed to be married together in the comic books, and that's actually true. That's why she was brought on the show multiple seasons ago in the first place, to be his wife, and they were supposed to be together. You can't have them both together. It's like Hawkman and Hawkgirl, their package deal. It's really stupid. Or even Hawk and Dove from the DC Titans show. It's like, just stop it already. Enough is enough. The whole situation. And also some other stuff I didn't like this season. You look online. Apparently, Candace Patton, who plays Iris West Allen, Barry Allen's wife, she can't show her stomach/midriff at all, even though she's been on the show since the beginning. She's a reoccurring cast member, also a regular cast member, and original cast member. Apparently, they told her this season that she can't show her stomach/midriff at all. She explained that online. I thought that was really weird and strange how that happened and why they said that all of a sudden now, when she's been on the show since to the beginning, obviously, because she's a very important part of the show, a regular cast member, like I said, but besides her, Barry Allen, Joe West, and obviously Caitlin Snow, besides Cisco, who's gone, and the guy who plays Harrison Wells, everybody else on the show is not a regular cast member. They've been there since the beginning. Obviously, people come and go, and that's that situation that basically was weird. I thought that was really strange. Also, like I said, some other stuff that was weird. Like I said, the Mirror Master situation from last season. Despero was cool. I liked him. But continuing back on to the show, Barry Allen decides that he's going to take, obviously, Thawne's powers, and he's going to be able to save him, and he won't have to kill him. Everybody comes to the agreement on that because Joe West tells Barry and Iris that he wants to talk to them. And like I said, he tells them, you guys are better than this. Please don't do this. And they decide that they're not going to do it, even though the whole entire team said, yeah, we should kill him and let him die, let him fade away. The whole, oh, we're the new kids on the block, we don't have a vote or a say in this, was kind of corny and stupid. I really didn't need to see that. You guys aren't kids, you're grown adults in your mid-20s. Chester and Allegra talking to Iris and Caitlin Snow, and Barry saying, yeah, we're the new kids. And then Iris is like, yes, you guys are right, you are the new kids, which means you guys don't understand or don't get a vote in this because you guys don't know the Reverse Flash, you don't know Thawne at all, even though Allegra's like, I don't know Thawne at all, I don't care about him, but what about you guys? How are you going to feel after this is over? There was no sighting of Chilblain at all. He's supposed to be married to Killer Frost, not Caitlin Snow in the future. That was explained in this episode after Barry tells the whole entire team what happened in the future, but there was no Chilblain. Still not in the episode, but he's supposed to be part of the team. Oh, by the way, after Barry obviously disappeared, when Despero popped up in the CCPD, their lab, the Star Labs, excuse me, not the police department. He obviously has to fight Despero. He's by himself, but instead of actually splitting the team up, Iris tells them, everybody stay here and watch Thawne. So essentially, that was a waste of time. Mia Queen gets taken over by Thawne. Excuse me, by Despero. He controls her mind, brainwashes her, and he obviously uses her as a weapon to attack the team. He knocks out Allegra and Killer Frost with a supersonic, hyper-pitched scream, canary call, like the Black Canary arrow. He knocks them both out, and so they're down. They don't get back up. Mia Queen is obviously under his spell, Despero, so she starts shooting arrows at everybody. Caitlin Snow gets hit in the leg, and then after that, they try to convince her, you can fight this, what's it called? Cecile's like, you can borrow my powers, my strength. I was like, this is so stupid and corny. Like, just stop it already with my powers, my psychic powers. Just stop it, please. It's so annoying. I don't want to hear that anymore. Also, I thought it was really weird. I'm like, so you guys are trying to walk her through this, like, she's about to literally rob a bank, and they're trying to talk her out of it, like not the interrogator, the hostage negotiator. Just let the people go and just run away with the money. She was able to fight it off and let Despero out of her head. I was like, Despero is very powerful, and she has no powers. How is he able to do that? It was really weird, and I thought it was stupid because he's like, yeah, I have her under my control. While Despero is fighting the Flash, and Barry obviously says, I'm gonna have to stop you. He tells him, you're supposed to take out Thawne. If you won't do it, I'm gonna take you out and then let Thawne out somehow. And you're going to be the bad guy. I'll be the hero. And Barry was obviously fighting with Despero, and that's essentially what happened. There was no him fighting the Reverse Flash on this episode. Obviously, he knocked him out. He told him to stay down. He did, and that's what obviously when they're at the CCPD police station, and he told him to stay down, and Reverse Flash did. And that's when they took him into custody. So that's basically what happened. So Barry got to take out Despero's flame of Imperium, and then obviously he disappeared once he used his new golden boots that from the comic books that he obviously accurately wears in the comic books that Chester made for him and gave him, and he used all the energy from his flame and he turned it around on him like a vacuum, and it came crashing down on Despero. He engulfed in flames, disappeared. Barry was able to run back to the Star Labs in time to save Reverse Flash and take all his speed away from him. So he's alive. Argus is going to take him in, and he will be probably staying there for the rest of his life and locked away in their lowest, deepest, darkest prison cell by himself again. And we'll see what happens with that. Because Despero told Barry, you guys should actually just let him fade away and disappear. Why are you saving the Reverse Flash? He always gets his speed back, Barry. And some people are saying that on the comment section for the promo for the sixth episode of this season, which will be back in March. It shows Barry Allen's kids coming back on the show, Nora Allen and Bart Allen. Apparently, in their timeline, they get screwed up, and somehow they end up working at Central City, the police department, so CCPD. So I don't know how that happens. So we'll see how that happens when the show comes back on in March, which will be March 9th. The episode was very cool, but like I said before, some things just obviously bothered me. Obviously, with the last couple of episodes of the show, the Mia Queen situation was stupid. Like I said, it was pointless. Where is my brother? I have no idea where he is. She didn't tell them that she was there at all. She just popped up. And I was like, what would have happened if Barry Allen wasn't here to save her? She just randomly pops up at the police station to attack the Reverse Flash by herself head on with arrows. That's not going to work on him. I'm sorry. And he almost killed Mia Queen. If it wasn't for Barry, she wouldn't have been saved. How she got there, it was no explanation how she was able to time travel, who gave her the technology for that, who helped her. She just says she's been doing it by herself. 2 years, William's been gone and missing, and she hasn't told anybody, including Mia Queen. Felicity Smoke, her mother. She didn't tell nobody about that. No one knows about this. So she just came there like on a dummy mission because she almost got killed by the Reverse Flash. So it made no sense. So her being there didn't really help the team out at all. She became a liability, not an asset. So that was like a waste of time and a waste of a cameo. Her being there could have actually been replaced by probably somebody like John Diggle, who actually could have helped the team out. Or I don't know, maybe I don't know, somebody else, just John Diggle. That's all I can think of. Possibly Superman. Well, they said they couldn't do that. Or Supergirl. So I don't know. You know what? Ray Palmer could have come back for another episode to help them. He was there in the first one. Roy Palmer, played by Brandon Routh, as the Atom. He could have come back, but you know what? They said everybody's only going to appear in one episode. That's it. So I think I would have liked it if John Diggle would have came back, obviously, or obviously Brandon Routh would have came back for this episode. He was in the first one. Dave Ramsey, who plays John Diggle, the actor, was not in any of these episodes, but like I said, at least he would have been able to help them with Argus's technology. So that's obviously what happened. Because remember, Chester was not even Chester was not able to fix anything or make some type of device to obviously take out the speed from obviously the Reverse Flash. Barry had to do that himself, but he was alone in the fight against Despero. He took him out. He disappeared, engulfed in flames. Literally, his whole body was on fire. Will Despero be back? I have no idea. We'll see. I actually liked him as a villain. He actually was. You know what? He was more serious to me than Zoltar this season. She was lame. She was only gone for one episode. He was more serious than the Mirror Master. I didn't like her at all either. As far as Devereaux and Zoom and Black Red are supposed to be on, or Red Death, excuse me. he's supposed to be on. And obviously Godspeed was very good. I really like Godspeed. Some villains are hit and miss, like Psyche and like I said, Zoltar, and whatnot, and the Royal Flush crew. They're just like a waste of a time, and they're just gone. They take up space. And some of those episodes are what are classified to me and by other people as called filler episodes. Like they're just there to take up time and obviously essentially space, because you're just like, well, this has nothing to do with anything. Like a couple last season when Barry and Iris went on vacation and Allegra's sister cousin was being helped by her and she died. She told her she was going to, if you didn't ask, let me help you. She's like, oh, I'll be fine. And she obviously ended up getting killed by trying to take down Black Hole by herself. And that's basically the end of that, obviously. So we'll see what happens in the rest of the show. The episode was very cool. It was nice, like I said, but Barry didn't fight the Reverse Flash. He already technically he actually did not fight him at all this whole entire series. There was no fighting really. Just yelling and stuff. So actually, if you want to be honest with you, it was basically a letdown. Yeah, Barry didn't fight him at all. He knocked him out in this episode. That was basically it. Last episode they just talked. And he told him, I took your whole life. What are you going to do about it? So obviously that was him having to stop him. Oh, excuse me. I'm sorry. They fought in the fourth episode. They did. That was it. Yeah. But you know what? That wasn't him fighting. That was not a one-on-one situation. That was Barry Allen fighting the Reverse Flash in a costume switch with Team Flash there. So Barry Allen was basically fighting 5 people by himself. So technically that was basically a 5-on-1 a handicap match of sorts. If you're a wrestling fan, handicap matches are usually 2-on-1, but this was 5-on-1. So essentially, Barry was outnumbered. So yeah, they never fought 1-on-1. So we'll see what happens the rest of the season. Obviously, episode 6 will be back. The show will continue on March 9th. But it was okay. It was fun. Favorite episode is basically Black Lightning, which was the 3rd episode. I really enjoyed Black Lightning. I love the show. I have all 3 episodes. Excuse me, I don't have the 4th and final season on DVD, but I have the other 3 previous ones on Blu-ray. His episode, which is the 3rd one, Armageddon Part 3, and also Brandon Routh's episode and the 1st episode, which are my favorite ones. Other than that, the other ones were cool, but like I said, the Media Queen situation, Batwoman situation, there was a lot of just other people that were missing that could have been able to help them. Like I said, John Diggle, Dave Ramsey who plays John Diggle. Carlos Valdez could have came back obviously as Cisco Ramon, but he didn't. He was mentioned, but it's like I said in this episode, he was mentioned. But the last couple of months now, years now, since he's been gone, if it's been a year, they're like he's working with Argus. We haven't seen no lab at all since then. So I don't know what's going on with that. It will actually ever see Cisco at a lab at working with Argus, since that's what he's supposed to be doing now. They're actually going to finally show that before the show's finally over, hopefully, because after this point it's just noise and just talk. It's just white noise, and it's really annoying. And will Despero be back? I have no idea. We'll see. It's going to be great the rest of the season because Bart Allen and Nora Allen, which are Barry Allen and Iris West Allen's kids, will be back. They're speedsters, obviously in their early 20s. They're back. Nora obviously was on the show in previous seasons. They just introduced Bart last season, so we'll see what happens with that. It'll be very fun. Will Jay Garrick come back in some type of capacity? Cisco Ramon, obviously, as well. Possibly John Diggle. I don't know. And will the whole situation with Chillbane finally be brought up and obviously solved, because he's supposed to be on the team and with Killer Frost in the future, and they're supposed to get married, but he hasn't been on the show at all, except in the future episode, which was last week on episode 4, part 4 of Armageddon. He was not seen any at all. Other than that, he was mentioned at the end of the last season when Barry Allen and Iris renewed their vows, but he was not there as the +1 for Caitlin Snow, because she said no, Killer Frost, because she said no. She said no to having him there, so he wasn't there. But he was just mentioned multiple times in other episodes, but just not showed up. Things that didn't make sense. Like I said, Despero's psychic grip and his powers on Mia Queen was broken by her being talked to by Cecile and Iris saying, "You're stronger than this. You can beat him," even though there was no way for her to actually do that. And he just magically said, "Oh, I lost her, but I'm still going to take you out, Flash." That made no sense, because he was stronger than her, and they couldn't stop him. He was able to control her while he was fighting Barry separately, because he obviously uses like astral projection type of powers, similar to Doctor Strange, but he can use his abilities and powers to mind control people. Literally, that's what he was doing. She was this walking zombie / weapon that he was using to attack the whole team. So we'll see what happens in the rest of the show. Obviously, like I said, when it comes back on March 9th, when it resumes, which will be season 8, episode 6, and we'll see what happens on with that. Will this be the last season of The Flash? I don't know. Or will they do a 9th and final season and squeeze out at least like 8 to 10 episodes, and that'll be the end of it. So we'll see what happens with that. It's supposed to be a Gotham Knights show. It's supposed to be similar to like DC Titans. That's supposed to be on the CW next year. They're talking about that, and it's going to happen. I saw that. I said I'm not interested in seeing that. Comicbookactually.com's Facebook page. I'm on their website, but their Facebook page posted that yesterday. I was seeing people in the comment section along with me agreeing, saying to each other they're not interested in seeing that. Some people say, yeah, okay, maybe, but a lot of people are like, no, because the CW, even with TV Network, along with the Flash and other shows that they've canceled, even though they were supposed to green light it, like the Painkiller spinoff from Black Lightning, they killed that. The Green Arrow Canary show, which Mia Queen was supposed to be on, she's on here on this episode. She won't be back in the show. She was supposed to have her own separate show with everybody else, and they cut it. They were supposed to green light it. They had it was waiting for 8 months. They said, no, we're not doing it at all, even though we had multiple episodes to show you the backdoor pilot episode of the actual show. They did the same thing with Painkiller with Black Lightning. They're like, oh, we're going to finally see it. No, that didn't happen. Essentially, they just wasted all that time, the actors' time, wasted money on that, all those multiple episodes, and we obviously didn't get to see it happening. So that's obviously something I was very upset about, still am. So we'll see what happens, like I said, when The Flash comes back, obviously, in a couple of months on March 9th to resume its 8th season, and we'll see what happens with that. But thank you for watching my video, and that's all I have to say about this. In regards to The Flash, is Season 8, Episode 5 review, which is Armageddon Part 5, which is the final episode of Armageddon, a mini-series of the crossovers that they currently had. And we'll see what happens with the rest of the show when it resumes back on March 9th. That's the end of my video. Thank you again for watching, and goodbye. Thank you.